welcome back to the channel. Okay, let's jump into it. Today I'm going to do something I think is important. So skill sets every man should master. These are skills that I am trying to master myself, or I am on the path of mastering myself. And this, in my opinion, is the 10 most important skills men should learn or master based on where men are at in the current world, right? In the world today. So let's not waste too much time and just jump into it. So the first skill is become dangerous. And what does that mean essentially? Well, before we go into that, become dangerous. You are the man in the relationship or in life, right? So you have to be able to defend yourself and protect your family, your friends, your community, your kids, whatever the circumstances is. If you are ever in a situation where you have to act, someone is threatening you or whatever situation, you have to be able to, as a man, react and respond to it. It's your job. It's our jobs to protect our families, communities, whatever. And well, how do we do this? So there's many things out there you can learn. There's self-defense. There's Muay Thai. There is boxing. There is jiu-jitsu. There's many avenues you could go. So you need to learn how to fight with your hands, right? And you need to learn how to fight with, with a gun. Learn how to shoot. Learn how to handle a weapon, how to maintain a weapon, learn how to fight with a knife or how to defend from a knife. Right? All of these things, and I would say included with this, I would say learn, what would you call it? Medical sides as well, like how, like if someone stops breathing, how do you do CPR, stuff like that. And that's the physical, right? So that is what most people talk about is the physical side. But a lot of people are forgetting about or I think something that is just as important is the mental side, right? The mental side of the becoming dangerous because of the way the world is run today, like the narratives that are being pushed, the fake news, the biased news, the social media trends that are coming out, and just things that are ridiculous that are not serving you and not serving anyone. So you need to be able to become sovereign in the way that you can discern what you want in your life, what you don't want in your life. And sorry, there is a truck outside at the moment. So yeah, you want to be able to discern what influences you want in your life for yourself and your family. Like, is this serving me or is this gonna hurt me in the long run, kind of thing. And you need to be able to navigate that and stop being pushed and pulled to different places. And it's warfare of the mind. It's the new warfare now. The new generation of warfare is psychological warfare. We still have the physical, but it's more so psychological. And you need to protect yourself and your family against it. So that's the first skill. Then we go into the second skill, which is money and finance, or finances. And this is a skill that gets talked about a lot. However, men are still shit with finances, myself included. I am really bad with this. I'm working heavily on this at the moment. So, a man should have his financial side dialed in and under control. Like, learn how to invest. How do you save? I mean, yeah, in theory, in your mind, oh, I know how to save. But how do you actually save? And how do you pay off debt? I mean, there's great resources out there you can use, like Gordon Ramsay's stuff. He's got some great stuff. He's got the snowball effect and things like that. How do you actually pay off debt? If you've got a lot of debt, and a lot of different places. How do you start bringing it down? How can you earn more money, right? Budgeting. You want to be out of debt and kind of start building this cash flow. Most men don't know these things. I don't know as myself. I'm busy learning, as I said. So, and because as a man, you want to be financially free. Because if your wife gets sick, or your child gets sick, or someone in the family gets sick, or some event happens or something, you need to be able to help or to handle the situation without having to worry about cash. I had previously last year I had something happen that put me in this exact position. I needed to pay hospital bills, and I wasn't financially set. So you can't really afford the best of the best, or to look after your family because you don't have the financial side down. And you don't want to chase money. That's not the goal. The goal is not to chase money. Rather, we want to attract it, right? So you want to build value in life, in your life. Build value to others, to everyone around you, and the cash will come. Money is a lagging indicator of value. So you build the value, and the cash will come. Obviously, smartly. Then number three, which is something I think is pretty cool, and these aren't in no particular order. These are just skills. Regulation. This one is insanely important. So this is a really underrated skill, and it is, in my opinion, a superpower. This falls under the respond, don't react, because most men today are, self included, overly sensitive. We react instead of grounding ourselves, breathing, and responding with something helpful. Because when your emotions and anger are in control and dictate how you respond, you are not a free man. You are a slave to your emotions. Because emotions are indicators. They tell you if something is not working or is working, and you need to investigate it instead of reacting. Right? You need to go figure out why are these emotions showing up. And as a human, you can't tell me you're so far gone. You can't. It takes a bit of work and a bit of awareness, but you can take a pause. You can't tell me you can't. Take a pause and take a breath before responding, and think. Think and choose a response that you can as a man. So you want to, or as a human, you want to regulate your nervous system essentially and become free. In other words, regulate your nervous responses and everything. So there are a few ways you can do this. There's cold showers, ice baths, uh, mindful practices, meditation, exercise, breathing, breath work, the Wim Hof method, yoga. There is insanely amounts of ways you can do this. And you want to develop a way you regulate yourself under highly stressful situations. This will make you a massive, this will give you a massive benefit over other people, especially in like leadership and stuff in your life. If you can regulate yourself under highly stressful situations, you can then calmly respond to the situation, navigate through it. You don't have to worry. Well, not that you don't have to worry, but this will make you a better leader, which then ties into number four. This is also a very important skill for men. I'm going to try speed run a little bit here. You have to have a vision or a mission that you can guide people to that outcome, to a better place, right? You want to be able to guide yourself and to guide others. Um, you have to be able to lead and influence yourself first before you can lead other people. And as a leader, you will have to make decisions and steer everybody right in the right direction. And I'm not talking about this false leadership of dictation, but true leadership. Like where the whole benefits, not the individual. A leader is willing to take responsibility for everything, find solutions to the problems. Um, he's willing to listen to the other people. He's willing to be honest, direct. Um, he's willing to take the role. This is important. He's willing to take the role of a follower if the situation calls for it. If someone else has better expertise or better understanding of the situation, he is willing to become a follower instead of the leader at that moment. Let's say he's honest and direct. Which then, skill number 5. This is the most important skill. You can't have any of the other skills without this. And this is a skill that I call a root skill, right? Because you can't have the others without this. And that is discipline. You can't have other skills without discipline. Why? Because in order to get the other skills, you have to have put in a lot of work to have acquired them, and you need discipline to get them. Because you've heard the saying, discipline equals freedom. And this is this is like literally true. Because motivation wanes. If you're motivated to do something, eventually that motivation dies down and you're not motivated anymore. It goes away. But discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline doesn't care about motivation. Discipline is discipline. Discipline is whether you feel like you don't want to do it or you want to do it, you get up and you do it. It doesn't matter how you feel. Your feelings don't get involved, right? You do what you said or what you have to do. Um, like you want cars, the sports cars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris. You want that lifestyle. You have to be disciplined and put in the work to get that. Same with you want money. You have to be disciplined, put in the work to get that. A strong body. You want to be physically fit, look great, have 8 packs or whatever it is these days. You have to be disciplined. You have to show up every day and do the work. Then skill number 6, which is communication. Men need to master the communication. Right? There is the best. Assertive communicators, I would say, are the best, and you need to master this and how to make people feel that they've been understood and listened to, truly listened to and understood. So let's cover the first one, assertive communicator or communication. Assertive communicator expresses his thoughts and opinions clearly. They are direct and he will take a stand for himself. Right? He will still have open dialogue. He will compromise, and he understands the other person has the right to stand up for their belief as well. They are the sort of communicators are honest with themselves and not afraid to pivot or ask for help. They will take responsibility for their mistakes and the corrections. Then on top is another superpower, one super skill, and that is having people actually feel understood and listened to. And in order to have this, or have the people feel that they've been understood, you need to understand what they are experiencing. Empathy, right? So it's not about giving them a solution or solving their problems, but rather it's about being curious and really seeking to understand their experience, because you need to shift from your lens, the way you're looking at things, and you need to be shifting to theirs, right? You need to look through their lens and not your own. And like, for example, something happens that makes this person upset, but for you, you look at it and you say in your lens, like, but that wouldn't make me upset. Why would you get upset about that? There you missing the whole point and missing the opportunity, because you are creating it through your lens. You need to shift to theirs, because it doesn't make you angry, right? So you need to like change the perspective, stop your mind for a bit, stop what you are thinking, stop what you are feeling, stop trying to give advice, just stop, listen and get curious what this other person is experiencing, putting yourself, showing empathy, putting yourself in their shoes. And this is a great skill for leading your relationship, and to lead in other environments, because you can put yourself in their shoes. It's easier said than done, but a valuable skill if you can do this. And then skill number 7 is presence. And how are you presenting yourself? The way you look, everything, the way you carry yourself. All of this sends a message or sends messages to everyone around you, right? Because are you presenting yourself in an effectively masculine way as a man, should, shoulders back, chest out, eye contact when talking, or are you sending the signal that you're scared, um, weak, lonely, or some kind of victim, right? People judge on appearance. I don't care what you say, whether it's right or wrong, people judge on appearance. We all do. And when you first meet someone, that first 5 to 10 seconds, you come up with a judgment. You already categorize how this person is just based off their presentation of themselves. And if you can nail this, this could either open doors for you or close doors depending on your presence. Like if you can nail it, it can open a lot of doors. Then number 8, we're getting a bit long here, but number 8, continue education, continuous education. So most men, myself included, think that after school or university that they're done with learning. That's it, we're done. We don't have to learn anymore. Thank goodness we don't have to. But as a man, or as all humans in general, but I'm speaking to men right now. As a man, you should keep evolving and learning new skills. Dive into things you're curious about. Adopt the mindset of a lifelong learner, of a student, of an explorer. You know, learn many different things, um, and each will add to your knowledge base, right? You never know how these things will show up later in your life. And you could be, for example, in charge of a project at work, and because you've gained some kind of skill set, you figure out how to make it work or how it could grow even more, become better. And because you've studied outside of the project, basically you want to become something like Dan Coe calls it T-shaped. I think he talks about this a lot. I'm not sure where it's from. I think it's from Google or something. But you want to become T-shaped, right? You want to have a broad knowledge of general knowledge across, and one specific thing that's deep knowledge. All adds together, right? Then let's go into the next skill number 9, which is networking and connection with other men. And there is a saying that probably gets used a lot, but it's a bloody good saying. The iron sharpens iron. So, in other words, you as a man should be around other men striving to level up, and other men that are trying to level up as well and lead their lives. You need to have a tribe or group or community that will push you and force you to grow and evolve. They will also help you to be held accountable, um, for things you say you're going to do. Because as men, you say you're going to do something, you should do something. You should stick to it if you said it. Um, and networking is not just going to these events and handing out cards and trying to see. Networking is a bit about learning how to serve others in a meaningful way and helping them to win. You do this enough. If you do this enough, you will eventually, if you help enough people, you will eventually get what you want. People will start helping you back. I mean, truly helping, not helping in order to get back, but really helping and serving them. So networking, connecting with other men is a valuable skill to have. A lot of men have the lone wolf ideology and are isolated. So this is a very good skill to have. Then skill number 10 is spiritual growth. Having a higher guide, or walking, in my case, walking with God, right, is going to elevate your life. Because you start to walk with this compass, it aims true, and it gives you guidelines for a great life. Like, it talks about what the rights and wrongs or whatever. It can be any religion. It doesn't have to be Christianity. You don't have to believe in Christianity or in God. You don't have to believe whatever. You could be Buddhism, whatever. But they have guidelines and they have just believe in like how higher power and go with that. As I say, even if you don't believe, it benefits your life so much. Um, like, and if you want a great example of a man or how to be a really great man, check out how Jesus lived. Check out his story because he was the example, the greatest example of a man, of how men should be, what men should strive to be. Um, even if you aren't Christian, just look at his life and just look at what he accomplished, and how he stood, how he showed up, put it that way, and you will start to live in truth and integrity. You will just find so much alignment. That's skill number 10. And then I'm going to put a bonus skill thing here, just a bonus thought. If you're not sure completely what other skills on top of this, think back to when you were a child. What were things you dreamed of doing, and things you dreamed of becoming in life, before school, before your parents, before anyone else brainwashed you into being what they thought you should be? I mean, these are all skills that are going to align with you internally so much, and it will light up a spark in you for that hunger of continuous education, of acquiring these skills, and you'll start to become even more competent in your life, and then you'll become content in who you are. It will help you so much in becoming content in who you are. You will start being who you will always wanted to be, and your character that you're playing now, that your avatar, your character, will start to open up, and you won't be depressed anymore. You will start aligning and becoming who you really meant to be. Those are the 10 skills. Comment down below what skills are you currently working on, and if I should add any skills in here. You think there should be more? There's plenty of skills, but I try to do like an overall look at it and incorporate many different things into the view. But yeah, comment down below. Let me know if there's anything else you should think I should add or men should do. Check the links down below. Join the communities and stuff. And then I'll see you later. Cheers.